Courtney Coach. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in New York City, and I'm here to coach New York. On today's episode, we're going to talk about two things. First is going to be a New York State disclosure form, and the second is a fee agreement. Now, the first one pertains to both sales and rentals, while the second one only pertains to rentals. So if you'd like to skip ahead, you can click on the links below to bypass any information you don't really need. So if any of this resonates with you, then keep on watching.
So what is a New York disclosure form? Well, it's a form required by New York State, but since I mainly work in the city, I call it a New York City disclosure form. New York requires all real estate brokers and agents to disclose to their clients who they're working for, whether they're working for the seller, buyer, or both, or in a rental transaction, are they on team landlord or team tenant. This disclosure law was passed in 2011 with the help of REBNY. What is REBNY? REBNY, or the Real Estate Board of New York, is a trade association that, quote-unquote, facilitates transactions in real estate such as buying, selling, leasing, mortgaging, and insuring of property and other business pertaining thereto. Basically, they do a lot of lobbying to the state to change laws to better the real estate community for agents and consumers. Without REBNY, it would be like the Wild West. It's important to know which side you're on because you wouldn't want to announce all your deepest, darkest secrets to someone who's not your best friend, right? Same rule applies here. Your broker knows all your financial secrets, kind of like your best friend. And if you don't know who they're working for, there's a slight chance you could be giving information and worries to the wrong agent. For example, if you're a buyer, it's probably not a good idea to disclose to the selling agent you would pay anything to have their home. The selling agent can then go back to the seller where his loyalty lies and disclose that there's no need to negotiate on price. They will pay for anything. On the flip side, if you're selling your home, you wouldn't want a buying agent to disclose to their clients that your personal or financial problems are forcing you to move out, so you're willing to take any offer that's put in front of you. It's not in your best interest to weaken your bargaining position. And because real estate feels much like a boxing match, you need to make sure you have someone that's in your corner. Which brings us to the next point, dual agency. This is not recommended because the only standpoint a dual agent has is exchanging seller and buyer offers. He's very restricted in what he says and has to be unbiased to the entire transaction. Real estate agents adhere to 6 fiduciary responsibilities to their clients, which is loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, reasonable care and diligence, and accounting. And when you're working for both people, it really cuts out some of these benefits because the agent is limited to just being a middleman. When you see a disclosure form, it will look like this and have 2 sides. It's important to know that there are 2 forms, so if you're renting, it'll give the agent the ability to disclose if he's on the landlord or tenant side. The first thing you will notice is the bold heading. This is not a contract, because, well, it's not a contract. It's just informing you of who your broker's working for. It will also give you information on the differences between each relationship, and in this section, you will need to sign as your understanding that the agent did in fact disclose his relationship with you. There will be check boxes listed to show which side they're working for. So for example, if your agent is representing you as the buyer, you'll check off the boxes that say buyer's agent. You print your name here, check off who you are, which is the person that will be buying, and your signature finished off with the date. Again, if you're dealing with a rental agent, then you will see the same form, just different teams, which would be either tenant or landlord representation. Now for the fee agreements. Rental fee agreements are an agreement between you and your agent, agreeing that you will pay them their set fee in the event they find you a home. So basically, you only owe them if and only if they find you an apartment. If there's a fee involved, you will pay this on the day of lease signing when you bring in your first month and security deposit. Here's an example of a fee agreement. Many companies have them. They're all different in style and language, but they all get the same message across. This document simply states that any apartment the agent finds you will be subjected to a 15% fee. This is not to say you will be paying this exactly. If you request apartments that are no fee, then you will still sign this form, but you won't pay a fee. It's just a precaution in a worst case scenario, or if the agent shows you multiple apartments with different fee structures and you decide to choose the one that happens to be 15% a year. Or, in many cases, in the event you decide to stop working with the broker and go direct. Yes, even in no fee situations, there have been cases where tenants try to bump off their broker without their knowledge. This form just protects the agent so he's not being cheated out of commission. Also, sometimes landlords want to see the signed form before they pay the agent commission for finding the tenant. If you're confused about the difference of fees, you can view my video explaining broker fees at the end of this video. If after you've signed the form and you're still feeling a little uneasy, just make sure to keep all your conversations in email. Emails hold up in a court of law, so if your broker's promising you one thing and he's giving you another, you'll have documented proof regardless of the signed agreement. Most agents present this at the time of meeting, so if you'd like to read their agreement beforehand, you can request them to email you a copy, or you can take a photo at the time of meeting. This should be paired with a disclosure form mentioned previously, so if they're giving you a fee agreement without a disclosure form, make sure to request one. Last but not least, not all brokers work ethically. It's important that you choose a broker whose firm is part of REBNY, so you know they legally have to hold up to a code of ethics. You can search if the company or individual you're working with is part of REBNY by going to their site, or you can click on the link listed in the description box below.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some real information from it. If there's anything that was missing from this video that you'd like to know more about, you can contact me at hello@CourtneyCoach.com, or you can go to CourtneyCoach.com and click on contact.